not be for anybody. We don't want to be exploited, and we don't want to exploit anybody.
Ain't nobody gonna do it for us. There's nobody outside of yourself, nobody outside of ourselves that's going to do this work for us. We have to put in that real work.
Because the better you are at exploiting people, the more successful you are within capitalism.
We want to say salute to all our political prisoners, our POWs, our elder comrades in exile.
The satisfaction we need as a people only comes through liberation and independence.
Because we're not just building for self, we're building for the family, because the family is broken. We're building for the community is broken. The nation is broken. The race is under attack. We're in a state of emergency.
You're tuned in to the New African Broadcast Association, where we inform, educate, and elevate. Free the land.
Got conversations about life, got conversations about death, got conversations about building a nation, about gaining knowledge of self. Not here to deceive ya, we'll make you a believer. Come build a nation with conversation, with prophecy and Atiba. Conversations between comrades.
To another episode of Conversation Between Comrades. I'm your host, Brother Prophecy, aka Yera Amati. Unfortunately, I'm by myself again today. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for my comrade Tiba to get back, and he's gonna be back shortly. I actually was supposed to have a couple of guests on tonight, but I mean, some things came up and they weren't able to make the show. But I'm pretty sure they'll be on in the episode following this shortly. But man, what's been going on, fam? A lot's been going on. We got a lot coming up. A lot of things to talk about. A lot of things in the news. I'm not gonna be on too long, but I figure I will converse with everybody, just for a little bit. Talk about some of the things that we got going on. Talk about some of the things in the news, give an update on the case with our brother Tyre Nichols, the individual from right here in Memphis, Tennessee, aka out of Webb City, who was brutally murdered, brutally murdered by police officers, several police officers. Initially, 5 police officers were fired and charged, but now there have been more, and there are reports that there maybe even 8 more police officers will be charged. The individual that we talked about, Preston Hemphill, this was the European guy, the white guy, who did not initially get fired. He was finally fired, and the thinking is that he will also be charged. So it's kind of a lot of stuff going on, while I kind of share this with everybody, with the family out there. So we keeping our eye on this particular case to see exactly what's where it's gonna come, where it's gonna be. But I think the Wednesday after his funeral, after the brother's funeral, we had a townhouse meeting with members in the community, especially the Black nationalist community, and we talked about a lot of things. I had opportunity to talk to the people, and along with others, Brother Patrick from the Mississippi Black Liberation Movement, big ups to him. The New Black Panther Party was there. Brother Omar Baruti, which will be a guest on our show. I was hoping to have him get a guest on the show tonight, but it didn't happen. But he was there from the Nation of Islam. And, so we were really trying to get together and not simply talk about the problems, but create real concrete solutions that we can enact within the community and be like hands on the ground dealing with the people, so we can solve our problems, because we cannot continue to expect or hope or beg the very same people who benefit from the problem, the ones who created the problem in the first place. We can't keep depending on them or hoping that they're going to come around and do the right thing by us. It is our job and our responsibility to correct our problems, even though, other individuals might be accountable and might be, responsible for certain things, for the conditions that created the problem. That might be the reality. That is the reality. But we cannot depend on those individuals to have, some kind of moral conscience and say, okay, we're going to do right by the people. That's not the reality. That's not how things work in the real world. The individuals who are responsible for this problem, who created conditions that we're in, that we're suffering from today, are the same individuals who benefit from the way things are. So they're not in any kind of rush to try to solve these problems because they benefit from it. So we can't expect them to do so. And with that, we're actually on February 25th, we're going to be having a Black History program / a panel discussion. And we're gonna have like a meeting with the community to discuss the topic of safety in our community, protecting ourselves from threats that are internal and external. And for that purpose, the purpose of this meeting is to come up with concrete solutions, things that we can put in place into the community that will, if not solve the problems, help to bring about, a better condition, at least put us on a path to a solution. Because we can't continue to talk about the problem. We can't continue to beg the oppressors, the individuals who are benefited from the situation to try to solve the problem. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's time for us to grow up. It's time for us to be grown men and women, in this America system. Because we have been behaving like minors, like children, totally dependent upon mom and dad, even though mom and dad are extremely abusive to us. And they ain't mom and dad in the first place. Get that clear. But if we've been in an extremely abusive relationship with the white power structure, a relationship in which they have benefited from our exploitation. So it's time for us to end that relationship. It's time for us to create a new relationship between ourselves. Destroy that power dynamic where you have European people on the top and African people, our people on the bottom. And the way this power dynamic is maintained is because these people at the top are exploiting the individuals at the bottom. So the individuals at the top have no incentive on changing this power dynamic. So we can't expect them to. So, it is what it is. And we just have to do what is necessary for us to actually gain true liberation, true freedom. We got to do it, regardless of how hard it is, difficult it might be, uncomfortable to a lot of people, but that's cool. Change is not supposed to be comfortable. Growth is not supposed to be comfortable. Growth, in fact, is very uncomfortable. So, if we truly want to grow and get to that next stage, get to that place that we're really trying to be within our journey of liberation, then we're going to have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because that's how growth works. Growth is not comfortable. Growth is not easy. It's not always pleasant and happy and all of that good stuff. Growth is something that sometimes it can be painful. Sometimes it can be stressful. It can be, all of those things. But it is necessary. So everybody tuning in, I want to make sure y'all drop a like, drop a like and drop a comment. Let me know who out there so I can properly greet you and we can converse. And this can be a conversation between comrades, between all of us. And it's not just, me talking to, the computer. It's an active conversation. But like I said, I'm not going to be on too long. Like I said, February 25th, Mark it down in Memphis, Tennessee, IWF City. If you're around, if you're here, make sure y'all drop in. See the program. We're gonna have like start out with maybe an hour-long program that gonna be some entertainment, education. We're gonna highlight some very talented, exceptional young people, because we gotta raise our young people up. You know what I'm saying? We gotta start early with the proper education of our young people, because if we don't, then our struggle gonna end. It's gonna end with us. You know, because that's one thing that we have to do. We have to bridge that disconnect, bridge that gap between the younger people and the older people, the elders and the youth. You know what I'm saying? Because like it's a serious disconnect, and a lot of times we see a lot of our elders, our older people, are afraid of our youth. This is a dynamic that we must change. We have to change this reality, because it's up to us to provide the blueprint for the youth to pick up and take it into the future. That's how our struggle works. That's why we're in this thing called a protracted struggle. It don't just happen, overnight. It's over, a long period of time, and each generation is responsible for moving the struggle forward, for progressing our struggle, moving it a little bit, farther and closer to our goal, until ultimately we gain our goal. And we are making a lot of progress. Sometimes it seems like we're not. And I understand that. Because we look at the conditions, we look at, where our people are, we look at some of the self-destructive behaviors in our community, and you look at the wealth gap. You look at the lack of land, the lack of resources, and you look at how once upon a time in America, we had more wealth than we do now. And you say, man, damn, but how are we progressing? We are, you know what I'm saying? Maybe not at the rate that we would like to see, but we are. I mean, just think about some of the conversations that are happening in the mainstream. The idea of, when I was younger, there was no such thing as talking about reparations in the mainstream media. That's conversation has made its way into the mainstream, where it's individuals in the government who actually being forced to look at this. There are states that are forced to look at reparations. So, when I was younger, like I said, you couldn't even talk about reparations. It was like, nope, not. It was like nothing. And the conversation about reparations is just going to get louder. So we have to be prepared to influence this conversation, to take this conversation to where it actually needs to be. Because right now, when they talk about reparations, people are talking about a check. They're talking about a dollar figure, an amount. Reality, that's not going to solve the problems in which we're facing. That's not going to do it. Reparations got to be a whole lot more than just a check to Black people, because that's not going to repair the situation and the conditions that we're in. Because you have to understand, the root of reparations is repair. So we have to be repaired. We have to repair ourselves, because we've been damaged, y'all. We've been under a system of oppression, exploitation, propaganda, that has produced self-hatred that manifests itself in self-destructive behavior throughout our community. It's obvious that we are damaged, that we are hurt. The things that go on in our community didn't just magically happen. God didn't just look down and said, let us make self-destructive niggas, boom. And we just came out with guns shooting each other. That's not how it happened. We just wake up and say, well, I don't trust people who look like me. I want to behave in a way that is destructive to my own survival. First and foremost, the condition that many people find ourselves in, that our community finds itself in is a very unnatural condition, because the first law of nature is self-preservation. That means that a species will do whatever it takes in order to survive. Self-preservation. There's some species of animals and insects and other things who give their lives willingly in order for the next generation to survive. The praying mantis, the male of the species, after they mate, after they impregnate the female, they're killed. The female devours the male in order to have the nutrients, the substance that she needs in order to reproduce. That's how strong this will to survive is. This law of nature of self-preservation is. That you have members of a species that willingly give up their lives in order to ensure the survival of the species. You have certain animals who die as soon as they give birth, and the offspring lives off of the mother. It devours the mother. Because the first law of nature is self-preservation. Now, why am I talking about that? Well, look at our community. Just look at the type of self-destructive behavior that is displayed within our community. Anytime you see a people who celebrates their self-destruction, write songs about it, sing about it, dance about it, create videos to it that glorifies it. Anytime this reality exists, then you got to say something has happened to those people, because that is unnatural. It is not natural for a people to celebrate and promote their own self-destruction, because the first law of nature is self-preservation. That is a clear-cut sign that something has happened to that people. They have been damaged. They have been hurt. They have been traumatized. And it is manifesting in the things that you see within our communities. That's why so many of us, we get frustrated with our own people, like, Lord, 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 why we just kill each other? Why we just don't love each other? Why we always hating on each other? Because we have been damaged. We're living under a system for over 400 years, over 500 years, that has constantly traumatized us. So when it comes to reparations, a check is not going to solve our problems. We need to be repaired. And the first step to repairing, or maybe not the first step, but a major step to repairing a people or an individual or anything, is we have to get away from those mechanisms, from those things that are creating the damage, from those things that are causing the damage. Uhuru Sasa, I see you out there. Free the land to you too. Free the land to you too. Good. Glad to see you checking in. Uhuru Sasa, what city you in? You know, I'm just asking, because I don't know if I just know you. I seen you on the broadcast a couple of times, but I don't know if I just know you. So tell me something about yourself, brother or sister. I don't even know if you're a brother or sister. I'm sorry. But whoever you are, man, what city are you from? Tell me something about yourself. But back to what I was talking about. Our people have been damaged. in a simple check is not going to repair the damage. The first thing that we have to do is we have to remove ourselves from those things that are creating the damage. We can't be connected and dependent upon the things that are creating the damage. Queen Veronica, how you doing? Free to land to you, free to land to you. What's up? Good to see you on the program. El Abdul Muhammad, peace, love, and life, family. Peace, love, life to you. How things down there on the West Coast, West Side? Oh, there's like, my bad. I ain't good with the finger sound. But how you doing, brother? Good to see you on here. Let me see. Who's also? We spoke via messenger briefly once. Okay, cool. I mean, you gotta look over me, man. I talked to 1,000,001 different people. So, you know, if I don't remember if we spoke or not, it's not that, you know, I belittle you or think you a little you. It's always big us. You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, I'm glad you're checking in. Thank everybody for checking in, and hit that like button. You know, let other people know what we're doing, and we're trying to elevate our consciousness collectively, and not just elevate the consciousness collectively. Because like I said, you know, NABA was never intended just for us to have something we can talk about, we can vent about, we can talk, man, the white man is white man. Yeah, man, y'all, yeah, we know white man bad. He very bad. Been bad for a very long time, you know. And I ain't just saying a white man, because this is not about individuals. It's not about a person. So this is not about white people. When I said a white man, I'm talking about a white power structure. I'm talking about a system. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, hey, it's white people who down in the struggle too. It's white people who are being oppressed by the same system. The reality. You know what I'm saying? That's why Fred Hampton was doing the Rainbow Coalition. That's why, you know what I'm saying, I'm so glad that the Rainbow Coalition still going on. The real Rainbow Coalition. I ain't talking about Jesse Jackson. But yeah, so but like I said, you know, this was never intended for us to just get together and talk about the problem and vent to each other. This was always for the purpose of building something, in creating collective actions that can bring about change in the physical world, in the real world. That's what it's all about. And that's, you know, that's kind of the stage that we're moving into right now. Like I said, you know, we got a program on the 25th. We're gonna have a short Black History program, you know, and then we're gonna follow it up with a townhouse discussion, panel discussion. And the panel discussion is about coming up with concrete solutions that we can implement right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Because like I said, everybody's kind of, you know, up in arms and upset and pissed off about what happened to our brother Tyre Nichols. And I'm pissed off too. But I've been pissed off. You know what I'm saying? I'm pissed off about what happened to our brother Darius, who was murdered not too far from where Tyrese was murdered from. We don't hear about Darius. We don't hear about him much. You know what I'm saying? Because the attackers of brother Tyre were Black. Well, there were more than just Black people there, but they are the ones who initially were put on blast. But because of that, they were, you know, immediately fired and arrested, and they will probably be made examples of. And now Memphis, people are saying, "Oh, Memphis, you have the blueprint of how you handle these type of situations. You just, yeah, you're doing so good. You're so good." And the only thing I'm saying, okay, good. You know what I'm saying? We're holding people accountable. Some people accountable. We need to hold all of them accountable. Everybody who was involved, not just the 5 Black dudes. It's easy to go against them because they are part of a vulnerable population, even though they were working on behalf of the system. But we need to keep all of them accountable. And once you do that and you do a great job of whatever it is, or whatever, you know, is going to come down on those brothers and the individuals, I need y'all to keep that same energy. You know, because people always ask me, you know, how you feel, brother? How you feel about the black police officers? We just killing each other, black people killing black people. Why you feel about, you know, you can't blame the white man this time because these black people doing it. I'm like, hold on, bro, just hold on. You know, I feel the same way about the murderers of Tyre Nichols as I feel about the murderers of Mike Brown, the murderers of Tyrese, of Tamir Rice, the murderers of Emmett Till, the murderers of Breonna Taylor, the murderers of Darius Stewart, like I told you. I feel the same way about those murderers. The difference is the murderers of those individuals, the European murderers, the white murderers, they were protected by the system. They were protected by the system. So I need y'all to keep the same energy. Just like the murderers of Tyrese need to be put in jail, and I'm pretty sure they will. They need to be put in prison, and I'm sure they will. But the murderer of Mike Brown also needs to be in prison. The murderers of Tamir Rice, Breonna Taylor, Aiyana Jones, Eric Gardner, and we can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And there have been several people who were murdered just, you know, since Brother Tyre. Matter of fact, hold on. What I got on here? Y'all hear about the brother who I ain't got that. Hear about the brother who's a double amputee, was running away from the police, and police shot him. Okay, so got an update. All right, Queen Veronica, like our brother Atiba reached out yesterday. He was saying how bad it is behind the wall. 2 people killed already this year. Damn. The conditions out here on the outside are definitely amplified behind the wall. And like you said, brother, it's the same oppressor and backed by this genocidal oppressor. Yeah, I miss my brother, my comrade. He actually reached out to me, but I wasn't available to take the call at the time. I didn't even know he had did it. You know, by the time I got back to my phone, you know, it was like, you know, an hour later, and you know, he had left a message, you know, talking about Comrade T was checking in. So yeah, I miss my comrade, man. Can't wait to hear from him again. And speaking of that, you know, next week we're going back to the penitentiary. We're going to give a Black History program to some of the comrades up at the Northwest Correctional Center in Tiptonville, Tennessee, one of the worst prisons in Tennessee. So we're going to have us a Black History program. We were there for Kwanzaa, and we had an awesome time. And let me tell you, right, you know, in the prison system, we have some of our strongest, brightest, most intelligent minds locked up behind the walls. And when I say, you know, the brothers were on point, right? The brothers were on point. We didn't just have a program. We had a conversation, a dialogue, back and forth. So every time, you know, we'd do something, we'd drop some information, and, you know, a brother would be like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? And I was like, man, that's what I'm talking about. Completely engaged. And I understand that because, you know, when you're behind the wall, it's easy to understand what we're talking about. They understand it better than we do because they are complete victims of this system of oppression. So, you know, next week we're going back. Matter of fact, next week on the 16th, we're going to Tiptonville, that penitentiary, going back for a Black History program. And the week after that, we're going to another prison You know, matter of fact, this will be the first time that we are going to visit that prison. But they requested us, so that's dope. I mean, we didn't even ask; they requesting us to come. So you know, we might be doing something right. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying. But you know, I mean, the point is, you know, we can't forget about our brothers and sisters who are locked behind the wall. You know, they're you know they're victims of this system. So a lot of times people just want to throw them away, but we can't. We got to go. We got to get them because we need all of our people. We need all of our people in order to defeat this system of oppression. It's going to take a collective effort. We can't do things simply off of individualism. You know, that's some European philosophical thought. I'm gonna do it as an individual. No, we have to do it as a collective. Queen Veronica said, we are stronger together. Definitely we are. So this is what we have to do. This is what we have to be about. And you know, we're just trying to play our little part into, you know, helping to transform the minds of individuals who at some point may have had a colonized mindset, and it manifested into destructive behavior that landed them in the prison system. You know, and understand really, you know, crime is the first like step of rebellion. You know, I think George Jackson said that. Crime is just one of the first forms of rebellion. It's just people don't have that political awareness to understand exactly what it is that they're rebelling against. And in many cases, they begin to victimize people in their own community. You know, Kendrick Lamar said, hurt people hurt people. You know, it is commonly known that oppressed people turn on each other. Kind of like if you put two dogs in a cage and you antagonize them, hit them, you know, punch them, you know, pull their tail. Even though the people who are antagonizing them are external, what they see is that dog in front of them. And all of that anger and frustration gets directed to that dog that's in front of them. So it's similar to oppressed people. We have external forces that are antagonizing us and exploiting us. And we feel the exploitation, but we may not have the political vocabulary to articulate, to understand exactly what's going on to us. And we end up lashing out on the individuals who look like us, who are in the same condition that we are in. And we victimize the people who are in the same condition that we are in. It's nothing new about this. Nothing complicated about this. People talk about, oh, the black on black violence and all of this type of stuff. But then they act like they forget about history. They act like they forget about history. Some of the most violent times in America was when you had the Italian mafia running rampant and killing each other. Same thing that black people do. Same thing. You had violence, murder, just amplified. But they don't look at the Italian mob in the violence, the internal violence that was going on when they were like really big. The same way if they look at what's going on with black people, black and brown people, really. But that's just the system in which we live in. But like I said, you know, for the next 2 weeks, we'll be at 2 different prisons. We'll be doing our thing. We'll be trying to, you know, raise the consciousness of our brothers so when they come out, they can be productive soldiers in this system. Hi, Uhuru Sasa. I see you. No one is calling what's happening in Ukraine white on white crime, do they? Why is that? Well, they're not calling it white on white crime because this whole term black on black crime, that's a political term. That's a political term to one, distract from white supremacy. So it's like anytime you bring attention to the police terrorism that has been rampant within our communities for centuries, when we call them out on that, they can easily say black on black crime. Don't forget black on black crime. It's a political. It's like a distraction. You know, a way to use propaganda against us. So many of these laws that oppress the people are justified. And that's one of the reasons why, we're doing this thing on the 25th. We're meeting and we're having this town hall meeting, this panel discussion, so we can implement concrete things. There's some of the things like we want to implement a rites of passage program for the youth, so we can begin to deal with the crime problem here in Idlewild City, Memphis, Tennessee. Because don't get it twisted. There is a crime problem. There is a crime problem, in Memphis, just like most places. And we understand that's the manifestation of capitalist system. When you put people, jam-pack them into a small area, overpopulate area, and you remove the resources from those areas that is necessary for survival, you're going to create crime and poverty and all of these negative things that our people suffer from. So we understand that clearly. But the power structure uses crime in order to justify some of the, because like my brother Uhuru Sasa said, crime is big business. It's big business. A lot of people make money off of the crime in the inner city. One, the prison system, which we're going to next week. But anyway, what I was talking about, I don't know. We see, and to criminalize a certain group of people. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you was responding to like the whole propaganda. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. You're absolutely right. It criminalizes a whole group of, and you can do the research and put things in its proper historical context. When you do that, you understand that this whole criminalization of African people is not an organic thing. It's not organic at all. It's something that has happened as the result of a propaganda campaign. I mean, Richard Nixon in 1972. In 1972, Richard Nixon stated that black people, he was actually talking about black people and individuals who were protesting the Vietnam War, because those were his two main enemies at that particular time. He was like, they are the real problems. So the key is we have to devise a plan. We have to create a plan that deals with these individuals without appearing to do so. And that's when you start slowly seeing laws change. You start seeing a propaganda campaign that painted the face of crime as being a black face. This is well documented. And through each president, they carried this agenda on a little farther and a little farther and a little farther, all the way up into when you see Bill Clinton and Mr. Joe Biden, who wrote this crime bill, because we got to get tough on crime. Got to get tough on crime. and it criminalized our brothers and sisters, which led to the explosion in the prison population. And just like my brother Uhuru Sasa said, you know, crime is big business, and they say crime don't pay. Like hell, it don't. It just ain't really paying us. Like, you know, we're just being victimized by it. We get a little chump change from it and think we're doing, you know, doing something, while there's other people behind the scenes who getting paid, you know. Let's see what we got going on here. And the stripping away of employment in our neighborhood. Yeah, I mean, when you look at, you know, what's been happening with crime in the prison system, I mean, it's taking away some of our most valuable resources from the community, and that's the people. But like I said, man, when I was, you know, last time we was at the prison system, I'm like, damn, you know, all them strong, intelligent brothers right there, just hanging on our every word. And I'm thinking, man, because like we have meetings and we get together and we try to strategize and see what we're gonna do for the community, how we gonna do this. We got, you know, we got a garden program and we need bodies to help, you know, create our community garden, which we call it a community edible park. You know, hopefully we'll get it off, you know, get it rolling, and it'll come, you know, it'll manifest. You know, but we have all of these different rites of passage programs. We got a program where we're trying to teach people how to deal with police. You know, how to deal with police encounters and survive the encounters. Because a lot of people, you know, go off the emotionalism. They get pissed off at the police and they, you can't do this to me, shit. I know my rights. You know, and just in case you don't know, when you're dealing with the police, especially in this system, that's not the time to get emotional. That's not the time to lose your bearing. That's the time that you want to be calm as possible. Because if police have bad intentions for you, then it's certain things they do to try to antagonize you. They're trying to create a give me a reason moment. That's what they do. That's why, you know, when you look at a lot of these police encounters, the police behave similar ways. You know, different stations, different countries, different cities, different precincts, but they have similar, you know, behavior patterns. It's like hyper aggressive. They're yelling to the top of their lungs. Get on the ground, move, I'll fuck you up. You know, they're doing all of that. But it's specific things that they're saying. Because a lot of times they're trying to get you to react in a certain way. And if they get you to react in a certain way, then although it's bullshit, they can justify beating your ass. And that's what they're really trying to do. They're just trying to create a give me a reason moment. You know, you'll hear them saying stuff like, stop resisting, even though they ain't nobody resisting. They say that because they trying to give themselves a justification. So when they reviewed, see, hey, I was telling them to stop resisting. I didn't have no choice. I had to break his arm. I had to hit him in the head with this baton. I told him to stop resisting and he wouldn't stop. You know, that's what they're trying to do. So like understanding the actual law and what you need to say, what you really don't need to say. Because most of the time we don't know. We just, you know, we get in an encounter and we know that we're being done wrong. We know that, you know, this is not right. We know that we're being violated. And the crazy thing about it, in order to survive many of these encounters, you have to go against your own human nature. And that's just the reality, is because like when you have these big, overly aggressive, well-trained, well-armed police who are aggressing upon you, who are attacking you, it is human nature to have a fight or flight response. That's human nature. You're either going to be like, oh shit, I got to get away from here because they're about to kill me. Or, oh shit, I got to beat their ass before they kill me. That's the human nature. But you have to take thousands of years of human evolution, of survival evolution, and you got to go against all of that. And you got to stay calm. You got to, don't run. No, don't fight back. Don't flinch. Don't make a sudden move. Don't do all of that type of thing. Don't do any of that, which is crazy, which is ridiculous. It tells you how corrupt and jacked up this system is. But Hulu Sasa say, I want to say well trained. I'm gonna get back to that comment. I'm gonna challenge you on that comment. But I feel you where you're coming from. But you have to, like I said, you got to be able to go against all of that. And I think, it would help us out if we understand what the law actually says. Because a lot of times we're in this we get into encounters with the police and we say things to let them know we don't know what the hell we talking about. We think we know what we talking about, but we don't know what the hell we talking about. First thing I'm gonna tell you, the first clue that a person doesn't know what they're talking about is when they in the counter, they be like, you can't do this, I know my rights. Off top. You just told the police, you don't know nothing the hell you talking about. Because if you actually knew your rights, you wouldn't be talking about, I know my rights. You'll be declaring your rights. You'll be asking them certain things, and you'll be calm, and you'll be like, well, am I being detained? Am I being detained? Oh, I am. Or what crime am I suspected of? Because when you use certain terminology, these are legal terminology. And in order to be detained, there are certain criteria that have to be met legally by the police. So now you're speaking their language. As long as you ain't speaking their language, they have the right to talk to you. And a lot of times police try to talk to you, keep you talking so you can incriminate yourself. That'd be one of the biggest, that'd be one of the biggest tactics they do. They just want to keep, whether it is talk crazy to you, because they want you to talk crazy back. They want you to give them a reason. So just understanding actual legal terminology, what the police can legally do. Now, after you can do everything right. We know you can do absolutely everything right, and it still turns out terrible. And I'm looking at, Tyre Nichols, and it's like, damn, it ain't much that brother could have did. I mean, there's some little things here and there, but really it ain't much, because these brothers just came out and was like, boom, immediately grabbed him out the car and attack. You could say, you shouldn't have ran him. Like, damn, dude, like, can you blame him? But, I say that to say, when these police are really have it out, then, sometimes it's just nothing that you can do. But you can increase your chances of survival by understanding the law and speaking the terminology. Because when you say the right thing, it kind of puts them on notice. Be like, okay, hey, now I'm legally, liable for certain things. And sometimes that's enough to make them pause and be like, get the hell out of here. I've seen that happen. I've seen that, like, literally, somebody come and the police talking crazy, blah, 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 blah. And then the guy was just like, well, am I being detained? And the police got pissed off, just pissed off to the highest level of festivity, like Bernie Mac used to say. And he was like, what are you, some fucking lawyer or something? Get the hell out of here. And dude was like, okay, and left. And that's basically what you're trying to do. You're trying to survive the encounter. Now, understand, when you're talking about war, anytime you're dealing with war on any front, let me be that clear, on front. I ain't talking about necessarily talking about going killing police, but if you're talking about war on any front, you never fight your opponent on their terms. You never fight your opponent on their terms. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because when the police pull you over, you're on their terms. They have a military strategic advantage over you. That is not the time to try to fight your battles. That is not the time to try to fight your battles. You want to fight your battles on your terms, point blank, on your terms. And that's kind of all I'm going to say about that, because you can go a couple of different ways with that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, a lot of people would talk about legally in court. You can talk about that, and you can talk about other stuff too. But anyway, all I would say is that is not the time to fight your battle. And that's the time you want to survive the encounter, and you want to go home to your family. And if it's something else you want to follow up after that, whether it be legal actions or something else, then, you know, you have an opportunity to be strategic with it. But you don't do things out of emotion. That's something very, very important. You don't act out of emotion. We really have to be able to control our emotions and understand that our emotions are something that we have to be able to pull out when we want to. You know, that because there are times in life where it calls, where it is appropriate for us to be angry, to be upset, to be pissed off. But see, you have to be able to say, you know what? I need to be pissed off right now. Let's get pissed. You know what I'm saying? This is a messed up situation. You know, I'm be sad right now. You know, so you got to be in control of your emotions. You cannot allow your emotions to control you. And that's more than the police. That's life in general. That's life in general. An interesting thing, you know, that I was looking at, and they was talking about single mothers, and I guess that's the next thing that I want to probably get to. April 3rd, I'm going to be speaking at the 1 Million Black Father March. Yeah, I'm going to be one of the speakers there. Keynote speaker is actually going to be a dude by the name of Dr. Umar Johnson. You might have heard of him. He's pretty popular. Cool, you know, cool. He'll probably be on one of our broadcasts too when it gets close to that time. I'm not sure. Since it's on a Monday, it may be on the New African Perspective, but I'm not sure. Maybe one day he'll be on Conversation Between Comrades. Not sure. But like I said, I'll be at the 1 Million Black Father March. I'm gonna be one of the speakers. And it was from the call of one of my elders, a brother by the name of Omar Baruti. He was actually supposed to be on the show tonight. Things kind of didn't work out. Hopefully he'll be on the show soon, but he's a good brother. He's part of the Nation of Islam. One of the first individuals who kind of woke me up, opened my eyes up, because I was in high school. No, I think I was a freshman in college. And you know, I got a hold to like a Minister Farrakhan tape, and I was listening. I was like, dang, this dude talking some real stuff. And I was like, man, it's a local mosque, you know, not too far from where I lived in Holly Springs, Mississippi. So, you know, one Sunday I walked into the mosque to see what was going on. And it was this brother speaking, Omar Baruti. And I was like, dang, this dude dropping, he on it, you know. Went to the Million Man March with this brother. And he's been somebody who has always been dedicated to the liberation of our people. I can say, you know, I love this brother. Matter of fact, you know, he's the one that gave me the call and said, hey, I'm going to the prisons, Brother Prophecy. I need you there. And when he said he need me, I was like, damn right, I'm there. You know, all you got to do is tell me, you tell me, hey, man, I need you to come dig this ditch. I'm going to tell you, hey, let me go get my shovel. I got you. So, yeah, man, definitely. But like I said, he's doing something called the 1 Million Black Fathers March, and is really geared toward trying to bring the fathers back into the household, back into the home. The statistics are, it's obvious. Our communities, our families are suffering from the lack of Black fathers in the home. And matter of fact, man, let me try to see if I can pull up the flyer for that. And I'm gonna get to everybody's comment in a second. I see y'all chiming in. But this is gonna be April. See, April 3rd. And matter of fact, it's gonna be a full weekend of events. There's gonna be a lot of things going on for the whole weekend. So, I think that'll be pretty dope. I can't find it. Oh, there you go. There it is right there. 1 Million Black Father March. Black Kwanzaa 365. I don't even know why they got the Black Kwanzaa 365, what that's about, I mean, we do something called Kwanzaa 365. Matter of fact, I think it's the Kwanzaa organization locally which is actually sponsoring the prisoners going to prison. That's something that we're part of. We got to navigate through different ways. This is the organization that allows us to go into the prison system, the Kwanzaa. So yeah, parenting with a purpose. That's Brother Barudi's, and it's actually going to be at the Lorraine Hotel. So that should be interesting. This is the spot in which Dr. King was assassinated. So we're going to be doing that. And should, like I said, should be a pretty good time. Pretty good time. Also, that very same weekend, because I'm only going to be there for that Monday, because during the weekend I'm gonna actually be in Charleston, Carolina for Nation Day. So we're gonna be doing our Nation Day during that time period. So man, we got a lot going on. So if y'all in Charleston, come check us out there. And that'll be so dope. I was looking for our Nation Day flyer. I can't find it. When that be? Right when I need it, I can't find it. Well, maybe it's here. But yeah, whatever the case may be. What I'm saying, we got a lot going on, and we are really, trying to go to that next step of where we're not just talking about the problem, we're having practical applications of, concrete things, so we can be about the business of saving ourselves, because we cannot wait for some magical person floating around in space to come save us. We got to be our own savior. A lot of people, not to get into religion and all that kind of stuff, a lot of people have been conditioned to wait on some external force, some type of force that is outside of you that's going to come and save the day for you. And this is the one religious thing piece of religious advice that I will give anybody. And I'll tell anybody, regardless of what your belief system is. People are always fighting over who's the savior. Muhammad's my God. Jesus is my God. Oh, it's Buddha. Buddha has the teaching. Whoever it is. There's only one savior that you need to be concerned about. And I'll tell you, everybody can find this individual, their savior, in the same exact place. And that place is the mirror. You want to find your savior? Look in the mirror. Because we got to be responsible for saving ourselves. Point blank. We can't wait on nobody, whether it be some great politicians, a Democrat, Republican, or whoever the hell it is. We have to be we have to be responsible for our own lives, for our own community, for our own families, for our own nation, for our own race. That's the only way that we're gonna get ourselves out of this condition, of this situation. Let's see. We got a Hulu. He said the 90s was so different. Definitely. It sure was. You know, that was like when I was going to the Million Man March in 1995. Yeah, 90s were different. This is, you know, we're living in some interesting times. That's all I can say. We're living in interesting times. C. Veronica, our brother Atiba asked for our help. He's trying to get people to call on his behalf to request that he be moved to another camp closer to his family. I'm glad you brought that up. To his family and loved ones. If you haven't, let me see, if you all haven't done so, please contact our brother Prophecy so he can give you details on how to support our brother. Free the land. And you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. In fact, so, and I'm just bringing this out, putting this out to anybody who want to. You know, I ain't asking or begging or whatever, but if you want to, you can. But we just recently, we took up some money for the brother. And I was finna say, man, if you want to donate some money, I was gonna give a cash app, and I ain't got the cash app on me. I'm screwing up. But yeah, he is definitely trying to get transferred. Matter of fact, he's trying to get transferred to the prison that we're actually going to next week. So yeah, he's trying to get transferred there. There, we actually have a pretty strong prison program within the camp. Matter of fact, I think he was there when we met Atiba and helped raise his consciousness. Like I said, he was taught by the same teachers as me. We had the same teacher, went through the same teachings, the same other things. But so yeah, we will get information to everybody on how to call and give support to our brother, because he's desperately trying to get closer to home. So, you know, because he's like way on the other side of Tennessee, and it ain't nothing but them European people there. And I mean, a lot of times it can be difficult for the brother. It just can be difficult for him. So, you know, reach out to me, and I can give you, if you want more information on how you can donate funds to the brother. I can do that. Just inbox me, you know, inbox me. You know, slide into my DM. That's what they call. Don't be giving me no naked pictures or nothing like that, but you know, feel free to you know, inquire about our brother Comrade Atiba. You know, miss my comrade, man. But yeah, like I said, you know, April 3rd, the 1 Million Black Father March. We're gonna be on. It's gonna be on and popping. Gonna be doing our thing. Next week, hopefully, I'm gonna have a guest in here. I don't. It might either be Omar Baruti, one brother that I'm talking about, or it might be a brother by the name of Brother Chase, who's actually part of like the Memphis Housing Authority. He's like a housing advocate, and like on the program that we had, the townhouse meeting that we had after our brother Tyre Nichols' funeral, he actually spoke about and had some very interesting ideas about community housing and, you know, solving our problems. And that's the field in which he works in. So I was really interested in learning more about, you know, his ideas about what we can do about taking control over, you know, the basic housing, you know, that we, you know, that we need. Because like we were talking earlier today, man, it boils down to food, clothing, and shelter. That's what we need. You know, we have to be able to provide for our people. one of the things that continues, that allows us to be stuck into this vicious cycle is the fact that our basic survival needs are provided to us by the same individuals who benefit from our exploitation. So we can't, it's real difficult for us to be, trying to fight the power, fight the system, and then turn around with your hand out, expecting the system to save us, to give us our food, clothing, and shelter. So we got to get to the point where we can provide for ourselves and not be dependent upon people who benefit from our exploitation to do something for us, to come save us. That's what the real struggle is. I always tell us, in this particular time in history, we got to be focused on creating our independent institutions. Those institutions that provide a lifeline to us, that govern our lives, that produce the type of things that we need for survival. These are the things that we need, and these are the things that we got to be focused on getting. Got to have those institutions. We got to be able to feed ourselves. We need some economic institution so we can build our communities up. We can't, won't have to continue to just beg white people to help us out. We need, all of the institutions that meet the needs of the people. We need to control them. Because if we don't, then we're always at the will of individuals, or at the mercy of individuals who have told us and shown us for century after century after century, they don't really give a damn about us. They only care about us as much as we can help them out, as much as we can build their nation, as much as we can make them rich, as much as we can give them influence and power. That's how much they love us. Really, I guess they love the hell out of us. We've done a very good job of making them very rich, powerful, and influential. But we cannot continue to have the institutions that govern our lives being controlled by individuals who benefit from our exploitation. We got to change that power dynamic. Because as long as that exists, it's still going to remain where these European people are at the top, Black and brown people at the bottom. And the exploitation of the people at the bottom is what continues to allow the people at the top to stay at the top. So we got to change that. We definitely, we got to change that. Let's see, I see you. Be all you can be, Black. Definitely. Black power to you too. Be all you can be, Black. Yeah, I'm right. I like your name, Be All You Can Be, Black. It's a dope name. I relate to it. Be all you can be. When I ain't talking about like the army. The army say that too. Be all that you can be. Really what they saying is be all that you can be in the army, because you can't be that way in real life. That's kind of the slogan, the catchphrase, how they try to attract people to fight in their wars of exploitation of other Black and brown people all over the country. Anyway, will you sit at home and wait for a mystery God to bring you food, clothing, and shelter? I won't, and even people who are like overly religious, they ain't gonna do that, Anyway, don't get me started on religion. Believe what you want to believe. That's what I say. Believe what you want to believe, but once your belief system gets in the way of, once your belief system gets in the way of our liberation, that's when I have a problem with your belief system. Other than that, I don't care what you believe in. Worship the ceiling. Who cares? As long as we can get together and collectively build our communities up, take our communities back. Create a world where our children can reach their highest level of human potential. That's what we're working on. If you ain't working on that, then I can't deal with you. Go do something else. You see, Queen Veronica says, right, they love us to death. We don't need that type of love. That isn't love. Yeah, I mean, that's like the love. The system loves us just like an abusive husband loves their wife. Be beating on them, beating on them, beating on them. Why you make me do that, girl? I love you. And then she'd be like all abused and traumatized and got Stockholm syndrome, saying, and people trying to talk sense into her. Like, girl, why you let him do that? Why you let him do that? And she's like, but he loved me. He loved me. I shouldn't have been talking crazy like that. That's how we sound. That's how we sound. With people up there talking about, oh, they didn't have to do that brother like that. Yeah, but he shouldn't have ran. He shouldn't have ran. He had to do something. Make them beat that brother like that. Had to do something. Had to do something. So, man, So, hey, I'm with you, Queen. We damn near, we sure don't need that type of love. That ain't love. That's exploitation. So, man, I'm with you on that. Like I said, man, we have the best audience in the land, period. The show right by the show, with the audience. that'd be the real show. You see, Black power, brother. Yes. Be black from the top of your crown to the sole of your Nubian feet. I'm with you on that. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't, you know what? I heard this dude say something when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Because we deal with colorism, especially when I was young, because I'm a highly melanated brother, in case you haven't figured it out. And highly melanated just means I'm dark skinned. And growing up in Mississippi as a highly melanated, very dark skinned brother, in a place with colorism ran rapid, and it wasn't really cool. This was like before the Wesley Snipes era, and they made it cool to be dark skinned. You were like, ooh, chocolate. No, wasn't nobody calling me chocolate when I was growing up. It was calling me black ass, like you, all kind of jokes, But so it's like, man, I was at a grocery store, and one of my friends was, cracking on me, making, you so black joke and stuff like that. And an older brother, he came in, he was like, hold on, man, hold on, what you mean? You talking about ain't nothing wrong with being black? Like, damn, every day I wake up, and if I ain't black, I'll go run and get some shoe polish. And I was like, I was tripping, and what I'm saying, made me feel good. I'm like, damn right. So I'm with you. Be black from the top of your crown to the sole of your Nubian feet. And just like that old brother told me, if I woke up in the morning and I ain't black, I'm going to go find me some shoe polish or some spray paint or some magic markers or something. Because I love me some being black. Definitely. Who saw Ashe, and I know that one what you was Asheing too, but hey. Teach. Freedom Power, how you doing, brother? Good to see you checking in, man. I know I don't feel right until I hear some Freedom Power. You know what I'm saying? Once Freedom Power is on, then I'm glad everything is in balance now. So, Freedom Power said, preach. And yes, sir, I will try. Queen Verona said, black is beautiful. I agree with you. I think black is definitely beautiful. Let me see. I have lived in Median Massa for a whole year. Very interesting. Median Massa, what's that? I'm confused. I know that's probably something I should know. It's probably something real obvious, and I'm gonna feel real dumb for not knowing it. Median Massa, that's like a city. Yeah, tell me what you're talking about. Oh, okay, Mississippi. Okay. Tell me your experience, because like I grew up in Mississippi. I'm from Mississippi. I'm a Mississippi boy. You probably can tell by my accent. You know, when I get real comfortable and I just kind of just talk and I really focus, man, I get real country. Sometimes I listen to it, I'm like, damn, I'm country as hell. Like, dang, you know. But it's all good, you know. I'm a Mississippi boy, Mississippi boy. And I mean, you know, my experience growing up in Mississippi, police off the chain, like ridiculous. Them motherfuckers don't play. I have many encounters with police, and understand, I was like really smart dude in school, you know, honor roll student. It was I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. I was kind of a nerdy type dude, you know, the little semi-conscious, smart nerd dude. And even though I was all of those things, I've had so many terrible encounters with the police. So many terrible encounters with the police, y'all. It's just crazy. Because I mean, it didn't, like, I did not realize until I went to college. Alongside, I went to the University of Mississippi, aka Ole Miss, white school, one of the whitest schools in America. But it took me into going to college before I realized that just because you see a police doesn't mean they're supposed to stop you. Police were absolutely, I mean, every time I saw police, they stopped me. Like every time. Like every time. I mean, it to the point where I used to do experiments. I'd be like, there's a police. I wonder will he stop me? And he did. Like every time. Didn't matter how slow, how, 10 and 3, however, I was doing, always stopped me. And they give some of the most ridiculous reasons in the world. The most ridiculous reasons in the world. Oh, you see, you got some dirt on your tag, and it kind of made it difficult for me to see your tag. So that's improper equipment. Meridian, Mississippi. I got you now. I got family in Meridian, Mississippi. I got you. I was wondering, I was like, what the heck? Medium massive? Like Meridian, Mississippi. Yes, I have family from Meridian. I have family in Meridian, Mississippi. I have family in Philadelphia, Mississippi. In fact, if y'all remember this movie called Mississippi Burning, it was about these 3 civil rights workers who was murdered in Mississippi. True story. My father was there at the place where they were murdered at the time. That's where he lived. And things were so hot during that time that they feared for, especially, young black men, because he was a young black man at the time, that they got him up and they moved him and his brothers out. So that's like how I actually was born in Holly Springs, Mississippi, because my father was fleeing this spot they called Philadelphia, Mississippi, around that area, because they was lynching black people, lynching black men, and it was hot. So, but I'm feeling you, Meridian, Mississippi. Yeah, that is interesting. I bet that is interesting. Living there. How is it now? You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm kind of, I've been away from Mississippi for a minute, but I just remember growing up, it was like a different world, man. I mean, there are positive and negatives. One, I love Mississippi because you got land there. I mean, you got massive land. We really understand the concept of land, and you can really be independent. That's why it's part of the national territory for the Republic of New Africa. Because, like, man, in Mississippi, you got land, man. You got people just got acres and acres and acres, and it's certain things like you talk about survival training. That's just a part of life. That's just what we did, being out in nature, in the woods, surviving, camping, hunting, fishing, doing all those things. Gardening, everybody had a garden. That was just what you did. Livestock. I have some stories about, me and my father. going slaughtering a pig, they will probably discuss you. You know what I mean? I'm especially I'm a vegetarian now. I'm like, but hey, it was me and my dad. I was with my dad. I ain't give a damn. I had such a good time. But so you know what I'm saying, Mississippi, I got, I have very fond feelings of it. But the racism was like more perfecto down there. Them European people, yeah, they let you know what time it is. I've had several racist encounters. Like a lot of people like never were going through and they hear about racism, but never just experience it overtly. Is that the right word? But anyway, openly. A lot of people never experience it openly. Y'all, I experienced it a lot. Anyway, I'm just rambling on. I'm just talking along. Yeah. Long live the Republic of New Africa. Damn right. Long live the Republic of New Africa. But like I said, I'm not going to be on long. And actually, I'm on longer than I actually planned. And I just been rambling, talking crazy. I'm glad everybody stuck in with me. Hopefully I wasn't talking too crazy. Hopefully maybe we got something from it. But I mean, basically, the whole point of the whole show tonight was just to reiterate that it's time to get to work, y'all. It's time to get into the community. I'm really, trying to move to that next stage where we're about the action of building up our community, doing things that's going to actually make a real difference. Because, we can talk about the problems in our community. We know we got a lot of crime, a lot of poverty. And this crime and poverty that is rampant in our community is the justification that the system uses to create units like Scorpion, the anti-gang, anti-crime unit that murdered our brother Tyre Nichols. They use crime to justify that. And the police chief, sister that was from Atlanta, if you go back to Atlanta, her days in Atlanta, she had a unit called the Red Dog, which did basically the same thing that the Scorpion unit does. And there are units like this all over America that is terrorizing our people. But they're terrorizing, they're allowed to do so because they are justifying it by the crime that is in our community. So it is up to us to work collectively together to try to solve our problem. Because these white folks, they ain't gonna do it. Like I said, when I say white folks, understand I'm talking about this European power structure. But like I said, man, it's time for me to get out. Be on the lookout for everything that we trying to do. And if y'all got things going on, let us know. Let us know so we can support. And can it be a collective effort in making a better world? Because ultimately, ultimately that's what we're trying to do. We're here trying to make a better world. Because we understand clearly. We understand clearly that this system of oppression has been detrimental, not just to us in the United States, but to the entire globe. It has been extremely detrimental. What's up, Freedom Power? Is like, I'm doing great. I'm glad you're doing great, brother. Glad you holding it down until Tebow gets here. I'm trying to hold it down, bro. It be getting hard because it's so lonely. I appreciate y'all keeping me company though. We need to hear you every week. You might consider yourself a geek, but you were preserved for such a time like this. Teach the people, inspire the people, build the nation. You're wise, disciplined, well-informed new African country comrade from Mississippi. Man, see, brother, man, you know what? That's what I needed to go forward. See, man, I was about to quit. I was about to say, fuck it. Comrade ain't here no more. I'm tired. We ain't listening. But when you just said that, gave me the strength to carry on. And I ain't never gonna drop sorts. But no, for real though, I appreciate that, brother. I really do. I try. It's interesting because we are all sum total of our life. It seems like my brother called me right now. Sorry, Tony. I'm online. I'm gonna call you when I get back. But I mean, it seems like and I told Brother Baruti this last time when we were at the prison, and we talked to the brothers. And when it was my time to speak, I have no idea what I was going to say. I promise you, I had no idea. And it was just like, I ain't never spoke like that before. It was like, I was like, damn, who the hell is this? I shocked myself, but it was just like the words were just coming. And then the people were just receiving it. And the energy was electrifying. Even the people, who were there with me, they was like, damn. It's like, where you come from, brother? And I was just like, I was thinking to myself, man, I feel like I was meant to do this. You know what I'm saying? So, I say I appreciate it because it's like when you kind of, doing what you meant to do, it ain't hard to do. It's really fun. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun kicking it with y'all, every week. It's fun going out into the community, building with the people. It's fun talking to the people. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hard at all. It's like, it's fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? When you find something, you find a purpose in life. It's like you don't even work. I could do this all night. You know what I'm saying? But it all comes from an undying love for the people. It all comes from, people like, I'm not religious. I don't make any bones. I don't make any, excuses. I'm not, much of a religious person. I don't really get into that. But this is like my spiritual, this is my church. This is my church. And when we building and when we're affecting lives and when there's a youth that they might be going down one path and we were able to influence them and to go into another path, when there's a brother who's been locked up and we're able to elevate their thinking, when it's somebody who's just out online and listen to something and all of a sudden it kind of changes the trajectory of their mindset. Whenever that happened, it's like me catching the Holy Ghost. I'm like, hallelujah. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to make fun of nobody religious belief, but I'm just saying the struggle for the people, that's just how I feel, man. That's what it is for me. So I appreciate everybody for hanging in there with me, for being who you are, for taking the time to educate yourself, to elevate your consciousness so we can collectively provide for the building of a better world. Because what we are doing is so important. It is so important. And we all are a part of this journey that we're going on together, So don't shortchange yourself. Don't think that, the little that I'm doing is not the little that you're doing is a whole lot. If you take a second out of your week or your month to drop a conscious word, to speak to somebody to help to elevate their thinking, to pass a piece of literature or either share a post that is inspiring, that is educational, that is designed to wake us up. Don't belittle your contribution to this struggle, because a complicated thing is nothing but a lot of simple things put together. And if we do all of our little simple, all of our little small gestures, as little as you might feel they are, collectively, it makes a major, big impact. My name is Brother Prophecy. You have been listening to Conversations Between Comrades. And by comrades, I mean me and y'all. I'll see y'all again next week. I love y'all. Keep doing what you do. Continue the fight. And we will not stop fighting until this war is won. I'm out of here, y'all. Free the land. Love
and when you bring it in, you brought it in for the purpose of weakening the revolutionary tide of the people.
It must not be a capitalist system, but we don't want to exploit anybody. We don't want to be exploited, and we don't want to exploit anybody.
Ain't nobody gonna do it for us. There's nobody outside of yourself, nobody outside of ourselves that's going to do this work for us. We have to put in that real work.
Because the better you are at exploiting people, the more successful you are within capitalism.
We want to say salute to all our political prisoners, our POWs, our elder comrades in exile.
The satisfaction we need as a people only comes through liberation and independence.
Because we're not just building for self, we're building for the family, because the family is broken. We're building for the community is broken. The nation is broken, the race is under attack. We're in a state of emergency.